heard you guys were talking a little trash about fighting too. So I need to give you guys a little, intro what I bring to the table. I could throw those hands,
okay.
like even though it's casual Wednesday, Cash. I know it's casual Wednesday and all, but still, don't get it twisted. Don't let this pretty smile fool you guys.
Listen. I am completely shocked and appalled that somebody such a great looking, such a nice, handsome, family friendly guy was sitting there throwing hands and throwing bows so viciously. That's what I like to see. We here now, Anson. I see you. We're here.
Time out, Anson, because I got real questions now, because we are having this lovely hockey conversation with three people who represent the minority in hockey fans and actual hockey players. So let's have a real conversation about being able to fight in hockey, Anson. What other sport allows you to stop playing to fight? Like, tell me how we got here.
That's the beauty of the game of hockey. I mean, that's what keeps people honest, because in hockey, there's no trash talking. You watch basketball, you watch football, you might even watch tennis, and they're talking smack to the umpires, the referees, to each other. Hockey, we know. You talk a little bit of trash, I might punch you in the mouth. I mean, what did Mike Tyson say?
That's legit.
Man's got a point. Now we were speaking. I'm sorry. I can talk fighting all day. I love it. But
focus. Yes. Bring it back. We actually have to talk hockey, but that was a fantastic answer. Now, come on, Kaz. Let's be professionals, not just fighting. Here's the real hockey question now, Anson. The number one draft pick for the Rangers. We had Ryan Strome on the show earlier. A couple things happening in that organization that are good to see. Alexis Lafreniere, Ryan Strome, the combo. First of all, the number one draft pick. What is this kid's ceiling? But in the same breath, how much pressure is that?
I mean, it's a lot of pressure, but go back even to last year. Kaapo Kakko, the number 2 draft pick for the New York Rangers. Now this year they luck out, win the lottery, and get the number 1 draft pick. You saw how competitive he is, and that's what separates Lafreniere from the rest of the draft class this year. He's a 19-year-old. He's not coming as an 18-year-old. So that extra year of maturity is going to help him with his transition to the National Hockey League. But he's so competitive. He's not just highly skilled, but he's going to raise the temperature in the room with his compete and his fire and his passion. And with the New York Rangers just losing a guy like Henrik Lundqvist, a fiery, passionate guy, they're going to replace that in the room. So Lafreniere eventually could become that player.
There's nothing like being a number 1 overall pick in New York City. So I hope you are right, Anson. Moving on, the New York Islanders were balling last year. I mean, they caught on fire, and they got on an incredible run towards the end of that season. Do you see the New York Islanders continuing that sort of momentum going into the 2021 season?
I do, if they have Matthew Barzal re-signed. Good-looking guy. Stud hockey player. He's got everything that you need to be able to market a star hockey for the National Hockey League. And the New York area needs that. Even though it's Long Island, it's still New York. He's one of the best players in the National Hockey League. If they could lock him up, they're ahead of the game. They've got Coach Barry Trotz, one of my favorite coaches of the National Hockey League. He does the most with the least. And Trotzy is just one of those coaches that you love to play for. You're go through the wall for Trotzy. He just has his presence about him. And he's won a Stanley Cup. Lou Lamoriello, upstairs, he's that solid guiding force that's been there, done that. And they've got some other players too. They got a great captain, which is amazing for them. They've got a guy named Anthony Beauvillier that sounds like a fine wine, who came out of the blocks in the playoffs, and he was unbelievable. So they've got the pieces there going forward that the New York Islanders can compete for the next 5 years.
All right, whipping around the tri-state, we talked Rangers, Islanders. Let's go Devils now. Jack Hughes, will he take the next step, I guess, is the big question.
I certainly expect him to. We're talking about number 1 picks and Alexis Lafreniere. There's a reason why these players are drafted number 1. Jack Hughes came to the NHL, high expectations, but you have to remember, he didn't go your traditional route. He didn't play college hockey, he didn't play junior hockey, he didn't come from Europe. He came from the United States Development Team program, and he played against number 18 and 17-year-olds all season long. It's a little bit different when you're playing against men, Monica and Kaz. When those guys are leaning on you every day in practice, you get that man strength, and you become better naturally. So I think Jack's going to take that next step. He doesn't lack with confidence, and he's hungry. He wants to be great. So he had a little bit of humble pie this past regular season, not dominating like he's usually done in the past. I expect this year he's going to take that next step for the Devils.
Now, Anson, let's switch gears just a little bit. I got to talk with PK Subban last year about diversity in hockey and bringing hockey into the inner cities and you know, to cultures that may not have just access to it. You are the head of the Hockey Diversity Initiative. I would love to get your thoughts on black players in the NHL, and you know, especially with everything going on in the world and the country. I'd love to get your thoughts on how we see black players in a sport like hockey in the NHL.
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, PK is my man, right? And I just hope he's training right now, not spending too much time on vacation. So I need to call him after the show and make sure his butt is in gear what he needs to do, because he had a down year last year. But yeah, I'm the co-chair with PK on the Players Inclusion Committee. It's in partnership with the National Hockey League and the Players, an NHL Players Association. And we've got a diverse group of men and women and from different backgrounds, you know, black, white, Hispanic, Native Indian. And we're all coming together as former players and current players to try to develop change in the National Hockey. We know the league has a long ways to go. But we saw in this past week, a big step was taken with Mitchell Miller. Arizona Coyotes drafted him. He had this history of not good behavior, to put it lightly. And Javier Gutierrez, the first Latino president of the National Hockey League, Javier said, "We're not having this. we're not having this." You know, and he gave that kid all the smoke he wanted. And he said, "We're renouncing this draft pick. You're out of here." And that's the kind of strong message we have to send to players that, and parents too, at the minor hockey level. Your behavior as an 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old could affect your future earnings to play in the National Hockey League. Because you guys know, playing professional sports, it's a privilege. You don't come out of the womb saying, "Hey, I've got the right to play the National Hockey League." So if you don't act right, you're out of here.
I was not expecting to get preached to on hockey and the parallels to life this morning, but thank you, Brother Carter, for bringing the heat.
I'll drop it in there.
We gotta let you go because we gotta get to break. There's this thing called time constructs in television. But we'll see you back here next Wednesday. Our MSG AM hockey contributor, Anson Carter. Thank you, my friend, for waking up with us. Stay well. We'll see you back here next week.